glory. We the Ambazonians, special loyalty. Praise the soul of Savior, who granted us the freedom and led us to the heroes from Babylon we gather. Glory to your glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in the nation, for in and harmony. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation and joy forevermore. Amazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of his nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of his nation.
Good evening, and fellow viewers, and welcome to this edition of the show Ambas 360. I am your host, Derek Yu, and today I have a very special guest of honor, Mr. Fru Kimbeng from the city of Lowell in Massachusetts. Mr. Fru is a community activist in the city of Boston, that is in Massachusetts in USA. Before I call on our guests, I would like to give a brief introduction of our guests before I call on him to say hello. So our guest, Mr. Fru Kimbeng, was born in Mancon, and he holds a degree in economics from the University of Lowell. He holds a master's in computer information systems from River University in Nashua, that is in New Hampshire in the US as well. He also has a management certificate from Boston University School of Management, that is in Boston, and he is a computer information specialist. In 2002, Mr. Kimbeng facilitated a sister city relationship between the city of his birth city of Bamenda and his current living city of Lowell, that is in Massachusetts in USA. Mr. Fru Kimbeng and his wife Kien Awasum Kimbeng lives in the city of Lowell with their 4 beautiful children. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Derek. It's a pleasure for me to be on the show. And I will also extend to my fellow Southern Cameroonians the world over. I bring humility and greatness to all of you. As you rightly say, I was born in Tambeng, Mancon, Bamenda.
Okay.
I've been out of Bamenda for many years, but Bamenda flows in my vein.
Oh, thank you for that introduction. So that really just follows up to our first question, which would be introduction of yourself and the Southern Cameroon's community in Lowell.
Thank you very much. Again, I live in a very beautiful all-American city here in Lowell. I personally call it United Nation of Cities in America. We are 25 minutes away from Boston, north of Boston. I am humble enough to pay tribute to other Southern Cameroonians who had lived here in the early 80s and gone to school, and actually laid the groundwork for me and the other Cameroonians who are here now. So I cannot say anything without paying tribute to the wonderful work that they did with their good behavior and humility and respect for the people on the ground that have paved the way for us to be here. What was part of your question again, please?
I wanted you to tell us about how the community, the Southern Cameroon's community is in the city of Lowell.
Well, a flashback. Lowell is, I would say, there are so many schools here, and the greater Boston is more or less the academic capital of the world. So most Southern Cameroonians, the few Southern Cameroonians who came here in the 80s, they were well behaved. They brought our peaceful culture here, and with that, they sort of laid a very foundation for us who came here. In the mid-80s, when we came here, there were very few Africans, and such that the police will identify you if you drive some other person's car.
Wow.
So with that, we realized that it was in our best interest to continue the goodwill and the community aspect of what our predecessors had laid for us. So we gathered together and formed a Cameroonians of Lowell Association. That was in 1992.
Wow.
And the aspect of it was that, you know, once away from home, we should bring our own culture and share with the community here. And by so doing, we met in members' houses every first Saturday of the month. That in itself was some sort of our security to show that your neighbors, if once a month they can gather in your small apartment, we can gather in a small apartment and make some noise. They will know that this is an African who has a following. Indirectly, you are participating. So we started brainstorming and getting involved in the community. Any individual initiative that was done out there, we encourage to go out and be the ambassadors of not only Cameroon, but of Africa, and knowing that we would be judged by our actions, and those actions will really lay a groundwork for opportunities for us and those who will come after us. So in that aspect, we thought that it was wise, away from home, to make this Lowell, our new city, home. And how do you make it? You have to get involved. You have to meet the Lowellians. You have to get out there and not only sit at home, but you have to give your services. Be member of churches. Volunteer your services. Look what is around. So in that aspect, we came together and saw that it was in our interest to get out there and also show our Africanness. By doing that, in the late 2000, early 2000, we came together and formed the African Cultural Association. That was really spearheaded by the Cameroonians. And I would testify with you that most of the Cameroonians who came here in Lowell, they were all Southern Cameroonians.
Okay. Wow. So thanks so much for that brief. It's a very good background, and indeed that explains why the city of Lowell happens to be the only city, the only American city that has actually passed a resolution condemning the human rights abuses in Southern Cameroon, and also standing with the people of Southern Cameroon. So, so that is actually an amazing journey of community engagement. I would like to find out from you how this particular engagement, how did you get the city of Lowell to be that engaged, that they will be that concerned about what is happening in Southern Cameroon?
Mr. Eric, that's a wonderful question, and thank you for asking that question.
Yeah.
Again, I would say that this initiative was not the work of one individual.
Yeah.
And our motto was that if any individual amongst all of us Cameroonians who were here, if you go out and see a breakthrough, that success will be shared by the whole Cameroonian community. In that aspect, we pull each and every one together. There is no individual aspect that we minimize. So I would tell you that these things really happen. It takes time, and the most important thing that can make you part of a community is humility, respect, and also honesty. So those qualities that we brought over from Southern Cameroon. I'm so proud of my parents. But I will tell you that an additional boost to us came in 2002 when His Royal Highness, the Fon of Mancon, made a maiden visit to the United States. And in spite of the very cold weather, he visited Lowell. We were even very pleased. His Royal Highness accepted to attend our 20th anniversary in Lowell. That was the Cameroonians of Lowell and 20th anniversary. And
yeah,
our guests in town, it was a wonderful opportunity for us to introduce His Royal Highness to the City Hall. And it's very important that His Royal Highness is the only African ruler who has addressed the City Council in Lowell and was made an honorary member of the City Council. So that actually laid the groundwork for us going forward. And with this, having done that, my team and all the Cameroonians here in Lowell, as I mentioned, this is a community endeavor by all of us, encouraging each other along the way. Even those who didn't join us, we knew that they supported us. So we move forward to see how we could establish a sister-city relationship with Bamenda, and that's really how this came about. But before doing that, I would say that I am glad this discussion is going on, and I believe that all over the world, Southern Cameroonians are doing their very best to put up a very good image to represent us around. And as I said, the most important qualities of success are humility, community engagement, honesty, and trust.
Wow, thank you.
And also that people should not stay in their homes. The most important place to create, to be seen and felt as part of the city where you are, is go to the city hall. Just go and sit there and watch the city council deliberations. The city councilors, people are watching you. You would be surprised, you'd be really amazed at, you will be walking down the street. Some white person will laugh at, will smile at you and say hello. You will be surprised, where does this individual know me? He met you because you were out there being part of the community.
Thank you so much for such detailed background explanations, Mr. Fu. I think that our viewers, especially from around the world, would be gaining some lessons from the explanations, from your experience. So actually the question that I wanted to ask, which you're already attempting to answer, is how can we duplicate the Lowell experience in other Southern Cameroon communities around the world? which I think you have already started to respond to that.
It's very, I would say that almost all Southern Cameroonians around the world, they are already doing it in one shape or another. Okay. And how are they doing this? They're doing this because we are a peaceful, loving people who respect our culture, and with that spirit, we take it out, and it guides our guiding principles. So, with our home education to respect our parents, our seniors, our elders, and those who are vulnerable and sick. When in any community that you find yourself, find where there is a shelter, go there and volunteer. I would tell you that one of the most important gifts of building your social capital, your social network, is to volunteer your time for free. Because look at it, for example. Imagine if I employ you, I pay you for your services. At the end of that payment, what happens? I forget about you. But when you offer your services for free to help another individual, or to the building of your community, or even of a community that they consider you as a stranger, you indirectly build network. You build your social capital. People will remember it, and that it comes gradually. The tendency is that we really want immediate gratification, which comes in monetary terms. But if you find yourself, if you volunteer, I would bet you learn a lot. And another thing is, find out any non-profit organizations in your neighborhood. Join them. Find out what it takes to serve on the board. All these things gives you some sort of managerial skills, and also gets you into knowing the community, and people know that you are really out there. And I would say that another aspect is, mostly in the white world and in America here, there is this, what they call diversity. Most organizations, they would want to see people from various backgrounds. And as a Southern Cameroonian, why don't you be the face of that minority, whom you can represent your own background? And the most important thing is, when you serve there, please, humility, respect, honesty is really the guiding principles. But the rewards are very, very enormous. It can be individual, and also will leave a legacy for whoever comes after.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you so much for that insight, sir. So, as young people today, you have nailed the word instant gratification as something that we go after. We prefer to do the things that earn us money instead of the things that would land us, long-lasting, kind of intrinsic value where you gain that you don't see at the time, but over time it accumulates and all that. So it's a good, indeed a good lesson. So as young people as well, our best trick is that we always, when we go to the most experienced folks, we say, so what were the challenges that you faced? So I'm going to ask that as a question. What are the challenges that you faced with the city of Lowell in your community engagement and mobilization? Just so, what are some of the challenges that you faced, so that as we are engaging our own communities, we should be avoiding those and we should be learning from those?
Wonderful. Challenges create opportunities. If you are afraid of challenges, and then you will not, the doors of opportunity will be closed to you as well. I would also point out that you talked about the youths of today. With the social network, I will tell you that I mentioned about volunteerism and finding yourself to be helping the less fortunate in any community that you are. People are looking at you. And when you volunteer your services after school, you already acquire certain skills. And also you are building your resume. Employers will nowadays would want to know what skills do you bring. what community activity involvement you have gathered under your belt. Those are things that build you as a disciplined, well-cultured individual. So that's the lesson that I can speak to our youth today. So that is something that you cannot get experience in class. You can get experience by volunteering yourself. And doors of opportunities are really there for you to will open for you in case any opportunity happens wherever you have volunteered. You will be the first person to be considered. Okay, talking about challenges, I would say that one of the major challenges that we face as Southern Cameroonians in a wide world, like in America, you know, it's really the color of our skin, and sometimes too our accent. That in itself is an asset because it differentiates us between the locals. And most people who know Africans, they bring a value, they bring a culture. So with that in itself, the only way that you can overcome those challenges is to get involved. You shouldn't stay at home. You shouldn't be ashamed because they value you for your identity. They may complain about your accent, but if they see you, you should let people judge you and understand you by what you bring to the table.
Okay. No, that's no. Thank you so much, sir. Indeed, these are very good lessons, especially at this time, especially those challenging times for Southern Cameroonians, especially those at home. So having an opportunity to interview somebody like you, and you're sharing such live lessons, I know that they're going to go a long way to build character in our young people. So one of the things that I wanted to ask, which already, with your experience, you already are tackling, is some of the strategies that we can use, like our city of Johannesburg. I know that people are watching from other cities around the world, whether it's from Germany, whether it's from Italy, France, all the cities that have Southern Cameroon communities. What are some of the strategies that we can use in our own cities that you have used in Lowell so that we overcome things like racism, which you have said as one of the challenges? We can overcome things like maybe at times even our accent as some of the things that would make you not get a job with somebody just because you speak a certain way, and then you don't get an employment. All those things are hindrances. So what are some of your strategies that we can piggyback and be using in our own communities to build that kind of engagement?
Very wonderful question. Again, Eric, those questions are very important, and I would tell you that one of the greatest assets for someone to know is to invite that person into your home. Share your meal, and also share your culture. What we did here in Lowell is that through the African Cultural Association and also through our Cameroonian traditional occasions, we will invite the locals. We will invite the mayor, we will invite the chief of police, we will invite community leaders, we will invite church elders to come dine with us. No, you know, the most important thing is don't let people judge you from a distance. If they don't want to come to you, you go to them and bring them to yourself. And then once they get to know you, all the stereotypes, perceptions become an asset, because they themselves would actually open up to you and say that, you know what, this is what I thought of you. But coming close to you, I've seen a human being and a person that has values, and it's teaching me a lot, you see. So with all of those, I would say that wherever we are, be it in South Africa, be it in Germany, every politics is local. You use your environment to try to make it better before you. You should ask yourself, don't be a beneficiary. When once in any environment that you find yourself, you want to be a beneficiary, at some point you invite problems to yourself. Try to be a benefactor. Then the locals will actually embrace you. How do you become a benefactor? You see, when we invite the mayor and the city residents to our occasion, we give them African clothes. We give them African flags or symbols. Now it's not a taboo to see the mayor wear an African attire to attend our occasion.
Wow!
And a very important symbol at the city hall, when His Royal Highness Fonongwa III of Mancon visited the city hall, he actually got our traditional regalia and called the former mayor on stage on live TV and dressed traditionally.
Wow!
That is significant. You see, that action itself taught us a lot and made us actually ambassadors of our tradition. Wherever that mayor goes, in any African attire, she says that she's a Cameroonian.
Wow!
So this little thing that some people may think that they don't encounter, or they may shy away to carry their culture with them, but our culture is our identity. And that identity comes with humility, respect, and dignity.
Indeed.
So, if you are in South Africa, Germany, Russia, they will judge you by your conduct. And being Southern Cameroon, with the discipline that we have from home to primary school and to secondary school, we already have the skills. The most important thing is for us to bring those skills out and let the public see us for it. We shouldn't be shy.
Wow.
Some people are afraid to go out there and make mistakes, but they will ridicule you. You know what? If you don't make mistakes, you don't move ahead.
Wow. No, thank you. Thank you so much. Indeed, a lot of lessons packed in there, sir. And I hope that the young viewers and even the adults watching the show are learning this gems of wisdom that Mr. Kimbeng is sharing with us. So thank you so much, sir, for sharing your journey with the city of Lowell with us. And obviously, across the world, Southern Cameroonians have lauded the initiative that you and your team and your community, as you say, in the city of Lowell has done to get the city to engage, so much so that they had to make a resolution. They had to pass a resolution against the human rights abuses and all the inhumane treatment that is being given to the peoples of Southern Cameroon. So we have celebrated that across the world, and we really are proud of the work that you and your community are doing in Boston. The question now that our people, especially those at home, leading up to the 1st of October, our restoration, they are asking is, what is you and your community doing to advance the cause of the restorations of Southern Cameroons? I think that is the question in all of our minds.
Very important question. Well, you have so many very good questions, but I will, before I go on, I would say that this journey is a relay.
Yeah.
We cannot move forward without paying tribute to those who have carried that baton thus far.
Indeed.
And I tilt my heart to the comrades who have actually paved the way with the ultimate sacrifice with their lives. And those of our brethren and brothers and sisters who are languishing in the jails in Yaoundé. Last week we got a glimmer of hope with the release of Lord Justice Aya Paul and lawyer Abu Mbala and Dr. Fontaine Neba. But BBC, Mancho BBC and the rest are still in jail. And you know what? I would say that look at October with a lot of emotion, anger, and everything. With the blood of our brothers and sisters, fathers who are spilling on our land, just for standing up and asking questions that every human being can ask. So looking forward to October the 1st, I would tell you everything is in God's hands. The train has left the train station and it will not be stopped. The people who are standing on the fence, well, the train is going and it is going. We are looking forward to October 1st. Well, with a lot of enthusiasm, we in Boston are planning seriously for that day, and it's premature for me now to put the cart before the horse. It is something that the world would know come October 1st.
Indeed, indeed. No, thank you so much, sir. You are indeed a man of wisdom, and I'm celebrating you. I'm really grateful that you granted this interview, despite all the challenges with so much work that you have to. That you made the time to sit down and have a talk with us at SCBC. We really celebrate you and the work that you're doing, and I think that our people at home haven't seen the work that you have done in your city are indeed glad and are looking forward to what will be coming from the city of Boston come the 1st of October. So on a more personal note, I just wanted to. I think I didn't do a lot of service when I introduced you. I wanted you to help me out. So, Mr. Kimben, you sit on 2 boards in the city of Lowell. I just wanted you to tell us those before we wrap up.
Oh, well, Eric, I would also commend you and your crew there in South Africa. It's very, very important that the world over know that we are giving our time for free. This is the volunteer work that we are, because once we watch the images coming out of Cameroon, we see that those people and the southern Cameroon, Boya and Bamenda and all over southern Cameroon, my heart bleeds. And what else that you and I, out of the country, having this privilege to be speaking on live television without fear. My heart is with the people back at home, because they are really the ones living a life of hell. To say that yes, it's indeed a lot of achievement have been done in Lowell. I would also say that I was fortunate last night to be online with the chairman, His Excellency C.C. Eko. He thanked us in Lowell and also made a very important point that with the initiatives, what we are doing in Lowell, and most importantly, the resolution that was passed, helped open doors for him in England.
Indeed.
So that was very important. I would also tell you that, yes, to answer your question, I served on numerous boards. I did serve on the board of One Lowell. I served on the Lowell Police Council Advisory Board, the only, I would say, immigrant Africans.
Wow.
And with that, I did actually travel with Commissioner Ed Davis, who left Lowell and became the Commissioner of Boston. I made a traditional presentation, accompanying him to the Justice Department, and I also attended the Eastern and Western Chiefs of Police Conference around the country here with him. Currently, I serve board of Lowell Telecommunication. That's where I produce most of those my TVs, and I'm very gracious that Lowell has really been very supportive, and I would say the privilege of working there, the perks that I get to organize
Wow.
to use that to also serve my own people. I also serve as the vice board chair for Lowell Community Public Charter School. That's one of the biggest charter schools here in Lowell that takes care of mostly immigrants. I also serve on the board of Lowell General Patients Advisory Council. So we listen to complaints from patients and their families, and then we take that to the authorities to be able to find out how they can improve conditions at the hospital. I am also a board member of COOL, that's Cultural Organization of Lowell, and I was one time the president of the African Cultural Association for 10 years. And incidentally, I was the only African who had my own TV show at Lowell Telecommunication for 10 years. I did interview the mayor and most of the dignitaries here in Lowell.
Wow.
So those are some of these things that I did, and all those things paved the way for what is going on in Lowell.
Wow.
So that's what I'm telling you, that it is you sow the seed and you keep nurturing it one way or another. And we've worked collaboratively with all the Cameroonians here. Our great organization, Cameroonians of Lowell. If you really want to visit it, you can go visit it, www.camola.org. You will see exactly what the Cameroonians, we here are doing. The people from Southern Cameroon are doing. Again, I would really thank everyone at home, and that we are out here because they are out there. And as I said at the beginning, I am out of Bamenda in Southern Cameroon, but Bamenda and Southern Cameroon flows in my vein every day.
Indeed. Thank you so much, sir. You are indeed so kind. Thank you so much for the good work that you are doing in the city of Lowell. God's richest blessings and peace will be with you. So just before you go, I would like you to share your last words with our viewers, and so that we wrap up.
Well, this is really a long struggle. My heart goes to the people back at home. I know you and I who are on the show, we are now persona non grata back into our homeland, which is very, very painful.
Yes,
but there is always a gleam of hope at the end of the tunnel. And that in itself encourages me and all others not to give up. Because it's a relay. You know, we don't, it is our freedom. No one gives you freedom until you get the freedom. I would also quote one very famous writer, I don't know who he is. He said that peace is bought with blood, and happy is a nation whose sons and daughters have blood. Our brothers back at home are paying the ultimate price. Our fathers and parents are languishing in jail. Our brothers, kids also, they are not going to school. And to turn back the clock and go back to the same situation is a no. The train has left. We have the button in our own hands. It's us now to move to move that button close to Boya, and that will make us proud. And I would say that Eric, you and crew out there in South Africa and all the Southern Cameroonians the world over, each and every one of us will bring something to the table. You see, I am just sharing my knowledge to you. This is a dialogue. The younger generation, they have something. When you imagine it, how you can create it on the ground, wherever you are, think positive, be humble, and be engaging. People will come to you, and that will be your security, and you will be able to enhance the victory by being humble and let people know us that we are peaceful, and we are going to prevail. Freedom, and we will get us to Boya.
Yes. No, thank you so much, sir. You are indeed so kind. Thank you so much for taking the interview with us. Me and the crew, we are really grateful, and I hope that the viewers have learned a thing or two, but more so have been inspired by your journey. Your journey is truly the journey of a Southern Cameroonian who goes out of the country not because they want to, but because they want to seek, and they want to seek for homeland. You've always had homeland in your heart, bringing the font of Mancon and giving him that great honor in your own city, in your own city of residence. Is indeed a great service that you have done to your people of Bamenda, and we are hoping that free Southern Cameroons would get more and more cordial relationships with the city of Lowell and benefit from the work that you and your people in Lowell have been doing already. Thank you so much, sir, for your time, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
And all I can say is, Miyaka, for your information, the phone of Mancon is my father.
Oh, thank you, sir. All right. Thank you once more, sir. Okay, we'll be ending the call now. Thanks. So, all right. So thank you so much for viewing this evening. That was Mr. Fru Kimeng from the city of Lowell, and he just gave us a great interview regarding our struggle, regarding the part that they have played as a city. And I hope that this has inspired you, because it has inspired me, and the work that we'll be doing going forward would be with a lot of lessons from the journey that the people of Lowell, city of Lowell, have been through already, and Mr. Kimeng have shared with us. Once more, there is a team of Southern Cameroonians, young Southern Cameroonians, who have taken our plight, our struggle to Twitter, and I'm calling on all Southern Cameroonians that are watching right now to join our Twitter team, so that we can get a lot more international media covering our struggle.
Can